My name is Olive Neten. It's always a pleasure to have your presence. Let's kick off today's edition. Private Sector Federation has signed a business cooperation agreement with counterparts in Kazakhstan aimed at boosting trade between the two countries. William Evans reports.
The Chief Executive Officer of Rwanda's Private Sector Federation, Stephen Ruzibiza, says that this agreement will help Rwandan entrepreneurs expand their businesses.
It's basically about information sharing and trade facilitation in case of import or export or even investments from either side of the spectrum. So the Chamber of Commerce Kazakhstan and Private Sector Federation, what we do, we facilitate our members. And in this arrangement or partnership, so we are going to be sharing information with each other and facilitating our members. So when our member wishes to know much about what is happening in Kazakhstan in terms of potential opportunities, then we are the liaison or the contact party that we liaise with our counterparts in Kazakhstan. There are many. We did not limit ourselves in terms of arrangements because the country is big. Kazakhstan is one of the, I think, the 9th, the biggest country globally. And they have a big investments, but I think they are more strong in mining and ICT. So even if we start with that, it is a potential for expropriation in all areas. So we can even attract investors to come here in textile, rather than tannery. So basically we have not limited ourselves.
Representing the Kazakhstan Chamber of Commerce, Aziz Al-Zahanov stated that through this partnership, Rwanda will serve as a gateway for Kazakhstan to access other countries on the African continent, particularly those in East Africa.
Rwanda is very stable, very well organized, and it's very attractive from a business perspective. This MOU enables our business community to expand its footprint in Africa, especially in East African community. It will allow more engagement with the local business community and also facilitate export from our country into Rwanda.
The relations between Rwanda and Kazakhstan is long-standing. The two nations are already bound by several cooperative agreements. Notably, during President Paul Kagame's visit to Kazakhstan in May of this year, the two countries signed a series of accords aimed at strengthening collaboration in areas such as diplomatic and political consultations, technology, education, agriculture, finance, and mineral resources development. William Evans, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Evans. Moving ahead, the ambassador of the European Union to Rwanda, Belen Calvo-Uyara, reflecting on the UCI Action Pact Week, noted that it was special not only because of their support for sports, but also because many countries were able to field a large number of female participants. Take a look.
This is a great opportunity, and so this is a very special week. The fact that there are so many women cycling is a first also in the cycling competitions. The fact that there was yesterday the first UCI and the 23 women fighting on road, it was very, very special. And the fact that there are so many Rwandans in the streets also, and there are so many youth looking at the big cyclers of the world and dreaming and getting inspiration, it is all very special. So you are bringing this tournament riding to the next heights. So it's very special for us. We believe in sports as a way to empower youth, as a driver for growth. So we are already supporting the African Cup of Nations of football as an example of the work that the European is doing to empower the youth, to build cultural links between the peoples, between Europe and Africa. And the same way that we're doing that in Africa, in Rwanda, we've been working with RDB for the last 3-4 years in supporting the tourism agenda, in supporting the sports-driven economy. Yeah. So no, indeed, for us, as I say, sport is a driver for growth, tourism is a driver for growth. We expanded that with the continent. You see here in the backdrop the Global Gateway. Next week, in 2 weeks' time, we will be hosting in Brussels the Global Gateway Forum, which connects Europe with the African partners, with partners around the world, where we connect on the main areas of our cooperation, on infrastructure and energy, but also on cultural links. And I think that's a very important step going forward. The Rwandan partners will be also there. In a couple of months' time, we will host the EU-African Union Summit in Rwanda. That will be yet another opportunity to get together with African partners, with Rwanda also, and to explore ways forward in our cooperation to bring the two continents together through the links that we create in these kinds of events. I think this is a testimony of getting together the Rwandan teams, the African teams, the European teams. It's the best expression of those things, and we are very happy and proud that we can bring that forward. So thank you, and all the best for Rwanda, and all the best for the African teams, and all the best for the European teams over the weekend. Thank you.
To more news, service providers across Kigali report that foreign currencies are being handled efficiently and conveniently during the ongoing UCI Road World Championship. While the event attracts participants from countries with different currencies, many visitors are able to make payments through digital platforms, reducing the need for physical currency exchange. We have details. Currency exchange centers or forex bureaus across Kigali are experiencing long queues as visitors convert foreign currencies. Service providers note that the demand for currency exchange has surged since the championship began. Meanwhile, cafes and restaurants around the city are seeing a diverse international clientele, with local vendors expressing gratitude to the government for creating opportunities to serve more customers during the event.
During this time of the UCI, we've got different clients here at the Question Coffee asking for coffee, and everyone who sips on the cup of coffee here, he or she makes sure that he comes back tomorrow. And all of them, they keep saying that at the last day when they are going back home, they will make sure they come here and grab a lot coffee bags and they take back to their homes. This is really a good thing because whenever they take this coffee at their homes, they are taking the best of Rwanda at their homes.
Hotels and tour operators hosting the visiting athletes also confirm that US dollars, euros, and other currencies are flowing smoothly.
On average, we have 3-night stay generally in Rwanda of the tourists coming to the country, but now you can see it's 7-8 days because of this UCI. And what does that mean? It means if one guest is spending at least $300 per night, including accommodation and meals, then you multiply times the number of people in the country, you can see we're gonna get a lot of foreign exchange for the country. On average, my team was on the field. On average, we are getting 10 bookings, which will happen after the race, the competition. And for example, majority are booking Akagera National Park. If, for example, one is paying $250 and maybe you get 10 trips, that tells you a lot, because if one truck takes 7 people, times the amount we are talking about, times 10 trips, and if you can get like 10 trips for 5 consecutive days, that will be very good revenues for the business and for the country.
Most international visitors are paying using Visa cards. Valence Rutiesha, a financial operations expert, explained that these cards allow visitors to pay vendors directly, with the system converting the payments into Rwandan francs automatically.
Niba aje rero afite ikarita yasanzwe akoresha muri Europe cyangwa se muri America.
If visitors come with a card they normally use in Europe or the USA and want to use it in Rwanda, the process typically begins with a foreign currency transaction, since their account is in a different currency. This conversion usually carries a small fee, allowing them to access Rwandan francs from accounts held in dollars, euros, or pounds. Additionally, because this involves cross-border transactions, a correspondent bank is used to assist with the clearance process. This is similar to any international banking transfer and relies on the speed and reliability of the internet, which ensures that the transaction is completed quickly when connectivity is good. Nick Barige, Deputy Governor of the National Bank of Rwanda, highlighted that this smooth payment process was possible thanks to well-prepared arrangements made ahead of hosting the UCI Road World Championships.
Kwerushanwa nk'iri ngiri riba ririmo abantu baturutse mu bihugu bitandukanye.
A championship of this scale attracts people from various countries. When they are in Rwanda and need to make financial transactions, they can do so seamlessly thanks to the preparations and investments made in our financial sector. Visitors using Visa, MasterCard, or any other internationally accepted card can easily pay for services such as hotels, restaurants, and other needs. In addition to cards, digital payment platforms and fintech solutions are widely available. This demonstrates the development of Rwanda's financial sector and its ability to meet the needs of international travelers, allowing them to go about their daily activities without any hindrance. The championship features athletes from 36 African countries, as well as nations from other continents. They are accommodated in 33 hotels throughout Kigali, benefiting from the city's well-organized infrastructure and payment systems. To other matters, about 60% of Rwanda's water sources originate from the Nyungwe National Park, prompting park authorities to urge Rwandans to actively protect it to ensure these benefits continue to grow. In Rangiro sector of Nyamasheke district, which borders Nyungwe, residents appreciate access to clean water from the park. Beyond local communities, surrounding activities such as tea processing and rice farming also rely heavily on these water sources. Those involved in these industries understand the vital role Nyungwe's water plays in their livelihoods. The water we use at home for agriculture and even for electricity generation largely comes from rivers and lakes fed by the park. Well-known rivers include the Rukarara and Mbirurume, which contribute to the Nyabarongo, Kamiranzovu, Karundura, Rubjiro, Ruhwa, and other waterways. Nyungwe's springs and wetlands, such as Ndambarare and Kamiranzovu, also attract many visitors due to their unique natural features. However, to preserve these resources, Rwandans must avoid activities that could harm the park, as emphasized by Nigaba Prote, manager of Nyungwe Management Company, covering 1,020 square kilometers. Nyungwe is one of Rwanda's largest parks and characterized by dense forests of large trees that nurture its water sources. While the exact number of rivers and springs is unknown, park authorities estimate that over 2,500 cubic meters of water are drawn from these sources by local residents each month. To more news, as part of the Rwanda's 4x4 initiative national program aimed at quadrupling the number of healthcare professionals within 4 years, doctors at Rwamagana District Hospital are receiving specialized training in the surgical treatment of hernia. Hernia occurs when weakened muscles or tissue allow internal organs, to push outward. To strengthen the country's healthcare system, the Rwanda Legacy of Hope organization has partnered with the Ministry of Health to train local doctors in modern surgical techniques. Pastor Ozen Havuka, president of the Rwanda Legacy of Hope, said the organization brought in a team of international medical experts to support the national efforts to increase the number of skilled doctors. The doctors undergoing training welcomed the program, describing it as a valuable opportunity to build their skills and improve the quality of care for their patients. Upon completing the program, these doctors will begin conducting surgeries at various hospitals, including Rwamagana. And beyond training, Rwanda Legacy of Hope has been instrumental in providing hands-on medical support. Since 2012, the organization has brought in 198 volunteer doctors from 12 countries across Europe and the United States and has trained over 450 Rwandan healthcare professionals working in hospitals such as Rwamagana, Kibagabaga, the University Teaching Hospital of Kigali, the University Teaching Hospital of Butare, and Gahini. We'll now take a short commercial break and then come back and see what is happening on the international page.
Nyiri muto arababwiraga data bati ntabwo wagira umukamo mwinshi utunze inka imwe. ariko nigeze acika intege. Mama akinjira mu bucuruzi hari abamubwiraga bati ntabwo watera imbere udakorera mu iduka rigezweho, ariko ntibyamusubije inyuma, yakoranaga umwete. Njya muri kaminuza hari abanshidikanyagaho bavuga ko nashobora kaminuza naturuka mu muryango wifashije, ariko byarangiye nanditse amateka mashya. Igihe cyo gutera ishema umuryango wanjye kigeze, bamwe bakomeje kumbwira bati ntabwo watera umuryango wawe ibyishimo n'ishema, ariko narabishoboye. Hari abakekaga ko nasigira umurage ukomeye abankomokaho, ariko ubu mfite uruganda rutunganya amata. Banki ya Kigali yabaye umufatanyabikorwa wanjye mu rugendo rwose, inzozi zanjye ziba impamo. Bigereho.
You're still watching RwandaTV News now. Two matters making headlines globally. A zoo devastated by last year's floods in northeastern Nigeria is gradually recovering. Dozens of animals were swept away, causing not only damage to the zoo's infrastructure, but also distress for survivors. Al Jazeera has the details.
Visitors returned to the Maiduguri Zoo, encouraged by renovation and the arrival of new animals. Among them, a pair of ostriches and a young lioness to keep the surviving male company.
Before the flood, we have 137 animals with different species of 29. So after the flood, we lost most of them. Some of them are mixed. Some of the species, different species are mixed. Some of them die.
The 2024 flood disaster caused by the collapse of Alau Dam killed dozens of people and destroyed homes, farms and businesses. The zoo lost 60% of its animals. Repopulating the zoo has started with a few individual donations, but authorities are struggling to bring in more species. Poaching and a growing appetite for bushmeat have decimated Nigeria's wildlife. As a result, it's becoming extremely hard to replace some of the animals that died in last year's floods. Nevertheless, officials offer a glimmer of hope, with animals now on their way from southern Africa.
As I'm talking to you, we are waiting for the arrival of the donation of different species that Namibia government has donated to Maiduguri Zoo.
Isgay, a 43-year-old elephant, survived the disaster, but is still traumatized. The flood disaster that decimated the animal population, though, has brought about some positive developments. A substantial portion of the outdated and dilapidated infrastructure is undergoing reconstruction. But for both visitors and animal keepers, the flood brings difficult memories.
It's a profound sense of loss when several animals were swept away. Notably, I miss a playful chimpanzee that was loved by all.
Bukar hopes the new arrivals from Namibia will help to heal the wounds and ease the pain caused by the animals lost in the 2024 floods. Ahmed Idris, Al Jazeera, Maiduguri.
And this marks the end of today's bulletin. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of the entire news team that helped me prepare this edition to you, we wish you a restful weekend ahead.